Hi, sorry about that. I was trying to do this new thing and that just was not working. So give me 1 second while I pull up this link so I can share it with everybody and let them know that we are still back on this new stream. And then I'll repeat everything that I was saying a minute ago, and then we'll go forward from there. Just give me one moment. Sorry. By the way, I hope everybody's been doing really well. I hope you've had a great time, enjoying spending time with your family and, just having a good holiday season and just coming out of the holiday with some kind of refreshed, outlook in life. I know I definitely had to take some time off and really refocus on myself and how I was feeling about all the situations and kind of understanding not just my commitment to this, but understanding just the things that like I had said before the break, that there was so many things that happened that I hadn't realized that I had taken a part in, that weren't probably the most constructive. They were more destructive than anything. And it was unfortunate. It was something that I realized, thank you. It was something that I realized that I had to change within myself. And one of my biggest things is that I always try to say, nobody has control over me. I have control over me. You have control over you. So that's a couple things. New stream. So I always try to make sure that, one, that I'm not being too, not demanding, but too, over, I don't know, over, not sensitive or not thinking of other people. I like to have empathy. I like to believe that, I take everybody's thoughts and feelings into my mind when I'm doing everything. Sorry, one more time. Okay. So what I was talking about is, so we'll discuss the court dates. So what I was saying is on January 31st, this is what we're preparing for. So January 31st is Pearl's pretrial. It is not a trial. There is no jury. We are not in trial. We are in pretrial. And this is the part where we're still dealing with the intellectual disability. And at this point, there needs to be a counselor assigned or a therapist assigned from the not the public defender, from the district attorney's office to assess Pearl to see if she has intellectual disability. This in no way, shape, or form allows her to get out of jail. She doesn't get to go scot-free. I've seen a lot of people talk about how they think that she might be able to get away with murder. She's not going to get away with murder. She's not going to be released from jail. This is basically them assessing her to see whether or not she would be allowed to be sentenced to the death penalty. There is a thing in our Constitution about cruel and unusual punishment. And I do understand, what she did to Gabriel was cruel and unusual, 100%. But we do have in the Constitution that we're not allowed to have cruel and unusual punishment for our inmates. So, in accordance to the law, they do this, testing or assessment to see whether or not it would be cruel and unusual to sentence her to death penalty. By all accounts, in my mind, it's not cruel and unusual enough, but I'm not the judge and jury. So we do have to abide by the law. And so she is going to go through this assessment. And from there, it just basically says whether or not her maximum penalty can either be the death penalty or life without the possibility of parole. So we're looking at the difference between death penalty and LWOP. So at that point, if you do remember, a year or two ago, before the trials started, and there was a plea deal on the table, and the plea deal was for her and Aguirre to admit that they were both guilty, and then they would get LWOP. Aguirre's camp decided after Aguirre's mom did that whole interview with the priest and weird whatever that weird thing was. They then decided that they were going to fight and fight for Aguirre's innocence. And as we all know, that kind of crashed and burned. And because he has no innocence, like, he obviously did not only did he participate, but he did not help Gabriel. Like, he did not remove him from the house. He did not save them. He's no one's hero. He's not, he's not a good guy, no matter how much he paints that for his family. He's just not a good person. So we know that. He has been convicted. So we're, good on that. But with that being said, she's probably going to try to get LWOP still. Which I'm assuming is the reason why we're going to this intellectual disability situation. And so with that, I do have to warn you that at any point in time, we can still see a plea deal being offered. And it will not be, I don't think it will be less than LWOP. But it will not be for her to get out of jail. That's just not going to happen. We know that she participated. We know that she did what she did. The pieces that she did, we know it. And the reason we know is because part of it was admitted by her. A part of it's in the text messages. Part of it was witnessed by her children. There's so many things here that there's so many different pieces of this puzzle. So we know that she is not innocent of any of this. So we do not expect her to get out of jail. It's just not going to happen. But we do, anticipate that the maximum penalty will probably be LWOP. So, Kelly, I'll be going on to that in just a moment. So most likely she's either going to get LWOP or death penalty, but I assume that since Aguirre easily got first-degree murder with special circumstances of torture, I don't see it being very hard for Fernandez to be convicted of the same. I mean, pretty easily. She was the mother, and she did take part, and there's just so much evidence. Moving on to the Aguirre case on. Now, I don't remember if I just mentioned this right now, but there was a couple years ago where they did a plea deal. He denied it. Stuff like I just want to make sure I said that. Moving on to Aguirre's case. So on March 8th is his sentencing. Now, in December, the jury suggested or recommended to the judge that the maximum penalty for Aguirre would be the death penalty. So at that point in time, he was not sentenced. I know that there was a big confusion somewhere out there that he was... Sorry about that. I know there was a big misunderstanding out there that he was sentenced, but he hasn't been sentenced yet. His sentencing happens on March 8th. And at that point in time, the judge is going to allow any family and community members and friends to address Aguirre directly if they'd like to, if they choose to. I personally have not decided whether or not that's something I want to do or an avenue I'd like to go down per se, because this has affected me so deeply, and I don't think I don't know if I want to give him the satisfaction of acknowledging him, if that makes sense. He, sitting in that courtroom day after day, seeing him not have any kind of remorse, not have any kind of emotion or it was just really weird. And I don't know if I mean, obviously, I mean, I'm going to say this even though I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. But obviously these two, I mean, they used to have sex. Sorry about that again. These two used to have sex in the bed across from where they would lock him up, bound and gagged. So obviously they get off on some kind of weird, you know, emotion or torture of people, and I don't know if he is going to get any emotion. Sorry, I don't know why it keeps closing the app. There's something wrong with all this YouTube thing. I don't know. But the app keeps closing on me. So I don't know if I'm going to give him that emotion. I don't know if he deserves it. Or he gets that from me. I don't know. I'll probably make the decision much closer to March than now. As far as the social workers, so on February 9th, we're looking at their pretrial. And again, this is just a pretrial. We are not in trials on anything right now. We're in pretrial, and we get to see where this next bout goes with them, and see. I mean, they're consistently trying to get the case dismissed. I mean, hey, Witchy Diva. So they've been working on getting the case dismissed since inception. Consistently, oh, my client was there, my client was already gone by then, my client blah blah blah, my client blah blah blah. Oh, this wasn't even in their, you know, in their file anymore, and it was just, it's just them just really trying to escape out of it. They say that we're scapegoating them, but these are the four, you know, that they should have communicated with each other. They should have communicated with, definitely with the police department, and they definitely should have taken, you know, all these, you know, 50, 60 plus, you know, reports seriously. They should have taken it seriously. Gabriel had to die in such a horrible way just because they didn't want to do their job. Hi, Leticia. So, with that being said, yeah, we, you know, we need to hold them accountable. They may not like it, but that's what we got to do. We got to hold them accountable. And, no better way to do that than to you know, convict them of the crime that they committed, or their lack of, you know, caring in a case where they should have been doing nothing but caring. So, you know, it is what it is. Shoot, just give me 1 second. I know that there was something else I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I lost my little note here. Oh, so I wanted to talk to you guys about the hiatus that Gabriel's Justice has been on. So, you know, the case took an emotional toll on all of us. I can't say that any one person, it hit them more than the other. I think everybody was hit equally hard, especially with some of the photographs that came out and some of the evidence that, even though we knew a lot of it was new. Like, there's one particular picture that I can't get out of my head, that they showed during the closing arguments of the yeah, of the not the sentencing, but this last phase we were in. Yeah, there's one picture that I can't erase from my head, and I haven't been able to, you know, but it was also, there's the information and just kind of the knowledge. And one of the things I did is, like I said, I turned to you guys and I kind of opened up. And you know, one of my friends, you know, it's a really weird story I'm gonna involve you guys in. But for instance, I was in love with this guy for a couple years, and one of my friends said, well, you have to be able to trust him with your feelings. And I never was able to, but yeah, I was able to trust all of you guys with my feelings. And that what happened is that when I opened up to you guys, I opened a door that allowed other people to come in and say things to me that weren't probably the best things to say at that time. You know, Mercury was in retrograde, if you believe in that, and I had a lot of people. I mean, I had this one chick that I've never met who keeps threatening to kick my ass. I don't even know her. So I had this whole slew of things that was happening all at once. And in regards to that there was other people who were having other issues, and they were angry and they were going through their emotions. And you know, I'm sitting there talking to one of the jurors, and you know, going through her emotions, and you know, I want to be there for, you know, for I know it's weird. I want to be there for everybody, and I want to help everybody get through this. But I had to stop. I had to shut everybody down, because I think everybody was just kind of like spinning out of control, and I felt the need to, you know, back us up off of the Gabriel's Justice. Maybe hopefully the four of us could readjust ourselves and focus on our families and, you know, the important things in life. Like, not that Gabriel's not important, but we still have living members of our own families, and we do need to live on a day-to-day basis, without crying and without breaking down and without, you know, consistently, you know, having these pictures pop up in our heads. And you know, like I said, it's still really hard. I still, you know, it's still difficult. So right now I know that we aren't fully re-engaged yet, and that's just because we're still in a conversation about how we're going to move the Gabriel's Justice movement forward. I'm very pro, you know, talking about, you know, child abuse and, you know, government influenced, or child abuse when government is actually involved, and how we can change and how we can mold and how we can educate. And, you know, a lot of people just, you know, some people want to just do a blanket conversation on children in regards to this, and some people want to, you know, include other groups and do other things. So we're in a conversation about it. So it's going to take us some time, I think, to get back to full. It's taking me a little bit of time also, because like I said, when I opened up to you last time, you know, all these things started happening to me, and it was hurtful. And I'm still really scared to open up again. And I don't know that I'll be doing that 100% like I did previously. But I can tell you that if I can be there to report on it, I will. If I can be there to give you the facts, I will. If I can be there to help anybody get through it, you know, I will. I will try. You know, that's all I can say about that. Does anybody have any questions? Because I think we're almost done here. Looks like there was not that many people that came on today, which means I hope that everybody's out enjoying life and experiencing what the world has to offer. Let me see. Of course. Thank you, Witchy Diva. It's nice to see you too. And I'm glad, you know, that you guys all came back and you were very welcoming and open, and you know, just here, ready. And you guys are ready to keep going and keep moving forward and keep fighting for justice. And that's the best thing we can do as a group, as a community, is just keep fighting. Of course. Okay, you guys. Mrs. Ramirez, I completely understand, and I can assure you that you got, at least what, like 80,000 people who agree with you. We all met Gabriel through this incident, and he's never left me. I can't imagine that he would leave anybody else who even hears his story or just sees his cute little face. So yeah, you're in good company here. Okay, you guys, I think I'm gonna sign off now. Ooh, 21 minutes is pretty short. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. I'll probably come back on. Thank you. You take care of yourself too. I'll probably be back on, if not on the 31st. And just so you know, I'm waiting for a message to find out whether or not I should be at court on the 31st. Because I am currently working on something on the 31st. So I'll let you guys know. Or we'll find a way. I'll find a way to give some kind of coverage if need be. And then what I'll try to do is I'll try to do some sort of like weekly chat with you guys or something. Whatever. I'll probably post some kind of like, I don't know, a voting system to see what you guys want, because I want to be here for you guys. I really do. So this whole community is because you guys make it, and you guys are here, and you come here, and you expect things, and not expect, but there's things that you would hope to have, and I want to make sure that you guys get that, so that way as a community we can move together to change things and to try to pass regulations that will help children. All right, guys, have a good day and a good night, and see you guys later.